My name is Harrison Greenbaum. I'm a stand-up comedian working in New York City. I have like a weird sort of journey into that. I was trained as a magician at age 5. I did that all throughout high school, and then sort of end of high school, beginning of college, I started shifting gears into stand-up, and I've stayed there ever since. Oh, we actually just ended our 2.5 year run. We're moving venues. The theater that we're at is closing. But yeah, we had an amazing run. We've had over 165 comedians. We've had over 15,000 people attend the show in total. It's been pretty. It was really awesome. I originally had walked into the theater to be part of an improv troupe for God knows what reason. But I ended up walking away with a 3 week contract to produce a show, kind of no risk, and that 3 week contract ended up becoming a 2.5 year contract. And we were there every single week. We're the longest running, most successful weekly comedy show in Times Square. There was a point where my magic act and my comedy act were completely separate. I think it was really important for me to develop as a comic to not have the crutch of magic or anything. I wanted to just learn the craft first before I started adding any elements. And then I started doing the baby trick in my magic act, and it felt stand-up-y. It felt like it's almost constructed like a joke. I mean, it is constructed like a joke, and the jokes were the primary feature of that, and the trick was sort of secondary. So I started playing. Actually, I think one of the first stand-up shows I did it was at the Sage, and I started sneaking it into my stand-up act, and was getting a great reaction. And I started closing with it, and over the course of I guess a couple of years, it's become what it is now, and it wraps up my whole show. It contains references to pretty much every joke prior to it. When I do it in a live show after 20 or 30 minutes, it also contains references to any crowd work or anything that's happening in the crowd. So I really like the theatricality of it. I don't think that even answered your question. I should answer your question. How does it develop? It comes from a lot of different sources. I had a friend call me with he had seen somebody else do something, and then he described it to me, and that sparked my interest in sort of searching out a trick that did what that guy had said. That seems nebulous. But I mean, basically, I just been working for 5 years on developing a trick that involves sort of asking an audience member for something random and be able to predict it. And other people had different methods, and I decided in the end to invent my own method, which is designed for comedy clubs. Because I could work 5, 10 times a night, so it needs to be something that I can repeat over and over again. And it's always a different celebrity, always a different audience member. It's actually, there's a lot of balls to juggle in the air when I'm doing it. But yeah, and it's just something that's developed over time. It's taken about 2 years total to fully develop it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like magic is a big part of my life. I've been doing it since I can remember. So just to be honest with the audience, it seems like I almost have to do it. But I like to think of myself solely as I'm a stand-up comedian. The little twist of magic at the end, I think, is just part of like sort of a Kaufman-esque reality questioning thing. I like to. I mean, I think jokes and magic are very connected. So I like to see. I like audiences to walk away kind of questioning sort of their perception of reality, and I do that with my jokes. And then I think at the end, it sort of leaves some interesting questions for them to think about.